Okay, so you're thinking of starting your own management consulting business, getting out there on your own. What do you need to start? That's what we're going to talk about this week, coming right up. Okay, there are some really essential things that you need if you're going to start getting into management consulting and starting your own management consulting business. So, looking back on I've been in consulting now for 2.5 decades, looking back on the success that I've had over the last 23 years or so, and where I've seen lots and lots of other people make it or break it in management consulting, here's what I think you need, the essentials that you need to ensure success. Okay, first of all, you obviously need some sort of skill. Now, I've belonged to a couple of consulting Facebook groups, and it's really interesting the sort of stuff that gets posted on there. People say things like, what do you think is a really good niche to get into for management consulting? Well, to be honest, if you're asking what the niche is, that tells me that you don't have any skills that you can apply as a management consultant, because otherwise, if you had the skills, you'd know the niche. I think there's this trend for people to go away and do a weekend seminar and then suddenly think, that qualifies them to be a management consultant. It doesn't. We're not talking about, coaching small businesses and things like that. We're talking about management consulting, where you're advising corporates on their business performance and how to improve. You need some skills. Okay, you don't need broad skills. So have a look at what you're doing now. Generally, you're not generally going to leave school and go straight into management consulting. You need a little bit of experience. But maybe you're watching this and thinking, well, okay, I've been in marketing in this particular company for 3 or 4 years, and I reckon I really know it now, and I've got some really cool ideas that I can share to help people be successful. Maybe you're going to be a marketing consultant. Maybe you've been working in property, and you develop some really good skills around picking property or something, or advising on property in some way. I'm not sure, I'm a logistics consultant. That's something that you've got some skills that you can consult in. So number one, you've kind of got to know what you're talking about. So you might have the experience, you might have a degree in the topic, you might have experience working with another company, but you've got to have something to start with. You can't really just go out there and say, I'm going to consult in X, Y, and Z when you've never done it, you've got no qualifications in it. Why are people going to buy your services? So have a good long hard think about the skills and experience that you've got, and that's what you're going to be consulting in. The next really important thing is you've got to have faith in your ability to deliver. So whatever type of consulting you're going to be doing, maybe you're helping companies with their business plans, their marketing plans, their production plans, their IT strategies, whatever it is that you do, you've got to be extremely confident that when that client hands over the money, you are actually going to deliver the goods for them. Because there is no faster way to kill your start in management consulting than not being able to deliver. The word goes around. Okay, particularly in the early years, in fact, for the whole career of your consulting, you've got to be focused on doing what you do best, delivering great outcomes for your clients, because all of that word of mouth feedback and testimonials is going to help you grow your business. One of the hardest things when you get into consulting, first off, is learning to say no. And I might share some examples of that in later videos. But, when you're desperate in those early months and years, you kind of might be tempted to take on anything. Do not take on stuff that you can't deliver, okay? It's going to put off the client, it's going to stress you out, it's going to cause you momentous problems. So one of the things you've got to think of up first is, what am I really good at delivering? And don't worry if it's really niched. You can build skills over time. So, don't worry at all. Just pick your niche and go for it. But you've got to have the ability to deliver. Now, this is the third one I'm going to talk about is sales skills. If you are starting out on your own with your own management consulting company, well, you've got to be able to sell. As simple as that. A lot of people are frightened of selling, or they're afraid of the whole sales process. You ain't going to get anywhere unless you can sell. Now, management consulting is generally a very consultative sales process, so don't stress about it. You're not selling used cars or properties or that kind of stuff. It's a very consultative approach, and in later videos I'll step through the approach that we use, which is really effective. Just a little bit of a story. One of our consultants, who's a little bit older than me, he's a great technical guy, but you tell him you want him to sell, and no way, I'm not a salesman, I don't want to go. And I took him out on a sales call a couple of years ago now to a really big client, but I needed him to come with me because he had the technical expertise to talk about the specific problem the client had, and it was about inventory management and sales and operations planning and so on. So I said, hey Bob, you're going to come out on I didn't say sales call. I said, I'd like you to come and have a coffee with me to client X over in North Sydney. And he said, oh yeah, well, what's that about? I said, well, we're just going to talk about the problems they have. And he said, it's not a sales call, is it? Not a sales call. No, not at all, Bob. It's not a sales call. We're just going to have a chat and a coffee. And that's exactly what we did. We had a chat and a coffee. And of course I knew what was going to happen. The client started talking about their particular problems, and Bob started talking about how he would solve them and how he's helped them in the past. And that was it. You know, the client said, can we have a proposal? And we started work the next week. So I just tell that little story because if you have a fear of selling, consultative selling is not, you know, full on kind of, yeah, that really obnoxious full-on sales sort of stuff. If you're good at selling consulting, it's actually softly, it's more listening than talking. It's just listening to the client, what their problem is, and then suggesting how you might be able to help them. But if you do not have the confidence to be able to sell, forget it. Unless you've got someone else with you in the business who can sell, it ain't going to work. Now, the other thing, because I mentioned other people in the business. I've been at this since 1997, so I actually have a lot of people in the business, and we have overseas offices. I don't know how many people we've got in the business at the moment, but probably close to 100, and we're in 3 or 4 different countries. So we actually spread that sort of sales ability now right across, you know, a number of senior people. In the early days, it was me and a business partner. So I had a business partner for the first few years, which was great. It's very hard on your own, and then we decided to split up and go our own ways, and I bought out that business partner. But you can do it on your own if you have the skills, the ability to deliver, and the ability to sell. What I'll mention though is that as you start to build the team, and I'll put another video together on this, when to start adding to the team, the type of people to add to the team, it's really good to understand the skill sets, the attitudes, the capabilities of everyone that you're bringing into the team. And we do that with everybody. And in fact, I had a new team member join last week who's going to be helping us on our social media management. I'm kind of all over social media. And I was interested to know what profile they were. We've already hired them, but I put them through a profile called Wealth Dynamics. And it's a profile that we've been using for about 10 years now. And it's actually for entrepreneurs, but I use it for all of our staff. And what it does, it identifies, you know, you've probably done personal profiles before, but it identifies strengths and weaknesses and communication styles and all the rest of it. But the beauty of this one is, you know how most of them say, hey, you're not good at this, go and build some skills in it, go and learn it. I hate that. You know, if I'm not good at something, why do I want to learn to be better at it? I'd rather focus on the things I'm good at. And that's what we do with these profiles. So the reason I'm mentioning it is I'll stick a link below. I think I can do that, and go and have a look at it, because we do this right around the business and we share the results with everybody in the business. And in your early months and years in the business, and if you've got other people coming in, it's really good to know where they fit. And there are certain profiles, you'll see when you have a look at it, there are, you know, creators are very good at generating ideas and generating sales. There's another profile called a Lord who's really good at the detail. My PA is a Lord. I'm not, I'm a creator. And that's really good, because as you start to build a team, you want to make sure that you've got complementary skills. So that's the only reason I mentioned that, and I'll stick it below. But the purpose of this video was to say, what do you need to get underway with your own management consulting business? And there was 3 things that I really talked about. One, you've got to have a skill. You've got to have something that people are willing to hire. You know, you've got to be able to deliver some results. So you might have been doing that in a corporate. Maybe you've been doing IT implementations or something like that, and you really know what you're doing. People want to buy that skill. And you do need to have some sales ability. You know, you're not selling cars, not selling houses. It's subtle, it's consultative, but you do need to be able to ask for the order, as they say. And I'll put that link for that personality profile below. So there you go, 3 core things that you need to get started, and you'll be away humming and getting the lifestyle that you want with your own management consulting business, I hope. So do stay tuned. If you enjoyed this video, do subscribe, do like, do hit that bell next to the subscription. That time you'll get updates every week when a new video comes out, and we bring out a video every single week on a Wednesday. Do comment. I try to get to all those comments myself. I'd love to hear your thoughts about starting your own management consulting business and other things that you'd like to hear about, and I'll make sure we make videos about them too. So thanks for watching. See you next week.